When it comes to Drake, there's no more running. The truth has caught up to him, and for the first time, the smoke can't be dodged. For years, fans, OVO, and even the media tried to sweep the ghostwriting allegations under the rug. They said it was exaggerated, that people were just hating, or that it only applied to a few tracks here and there. But now, the newest leaks have made it impossible to ignore. And what's most shocking isn't just that Drake may have used ghostwriters, it's that some of the songs people thought were his most personal, most lyrical, most raw, may not have been written by him at all. I'm talking about the timestamp records, you know the ones. 5 a.m. in Toronto, 4 p.m. in Calabasas, Draft Day. The songs fans always pointed to when they wanted to prove that Drake could really spit. The songs people used to argue that he was a real MC, that he could stand with the greats. But with these new leaks, even that defense is crumbling, and what we're left with is a picture of an artist who may have never truly been the pen behind the verses that made him famous. The Smoking Gun? 3 reference tracks that recently surfaced, tied to a rapper who goes by the names Mula and Chapo. At first, people brushed it off. Nah, this has to be fake, they said. This is clout chasing, others claimed. Some even joked that Kendrick probably had reference tracks too. But after digging deeper, it became clear this wasn't a hoax. And the guy behind the leaks wasn't some random dude trying to go viral. A creator by the name of Real J Nolan stepped in and did some real investigative work. He uncovered a series of details that completely flipped the narrative. First off, Mula isn't just some SoundCloud rapper trying to catch a break. He's a seasoned industry writer who was once signed to Harvey Mason Jr. Yes, the current head of the Recording Academy. That right there should raise eyebrows. Mula has industry connections, a background in writing, and a professional reputation. Why would a guy with that much to lose fabricate reference tracks? What would he gain from risking his career just to take a shot at Drake? And it doesn't stop there. Real J Nolan found out that Mula used to work very closely with Boy Wonder, one of Drake's most trusted producers. This is someone Drake has been working with from the beginning of his career. There are timestamps, logs, even hints that Mula and Boy Wonder were working on a full collaborative project at one point. That's not some 6 degrees of separation. That's close proximity. That's access. That's how reference tracks get into the wrong hands. So now we're faced with a very uncomfortable truth. The reference tracks are probably real, and they're for some of the most respected lyrical songs in Drake's catalog. Let's be honest, if this were another artist, maybe this would blow over. Maybe people would say, okay, it's just a few songs, and move on. But this is Drake. The same Drake who's already been caught up in ghostwriting drama with Quentin Miller. The same Drake who's had whispers surrounding his pen for nearly a decade. This isn't the first time. It's not even the second. It's part of a larger pattern, a pattern that points to a fundamental lie about who Drake is as an artist. Now let's step back and really think about what this means. Drake has always presented himself as an artist first. Someone who is deeply involved in every bar, every verse, every hook. He was the emotional rapper, the guy who gave you introspective lyrics over moody beats, the artist who'd drop a timestamp freestyle out of nowhere to remind people he still had it. But what if those songs weren't his? What if the timestamp tracks, the very foundation of his lyrical credibility, were ghostwritten? It means that Drake wasn't just using writers for the pop hits like One Dance or Hold On We're Going Home. He may have used them for the songs that were supposed to prove his authenticity. That's a level of deception hip-hop has never really seen at this scale. Because here's the thing, hip-hop is built on authenticity. It's the one genre where writing your own lyrics still matters. Nobody cared that Britney Spears didn't write her songs. Nobody batted an eye when Rihanna didn't pen every word. But in rap, the pen is sacred. So when you look at someone like Drake, who's been in the conversation with lyricists like Kendrick, Cole, and Tyler, the fact that there's now credible evidence he didn't write his best raps, that's devastating. And speaking of Kendrick, let's not forget Drake's recent beef with him. That entire situation was embarrassing. Kendrick came with The Heart Part 6. Meanwhile, Drake's responses didn't just fall flat, they felt completely out of place. The bars weren't sharp, the energy wasn't right, it felt forced. Like Drake was scrambling to keep up. And now, in hindsight, it makes you wonder, was he struggling because he didn't have a team behind him this time? Did he avoid dropping a timestamp-style diss track because he knew people would be looking too closely? Because he couldn't risk being caught using ghostwriters again? Everything about this points to a larger truth. Drake is more brand than artist. And if you've been paying attention, you've seen the signs. The calculated rollouts, the sudden genre switches, the albums that feel like Spotify playlists made by an algorithm. It's all part of the machine. At one point, Drake was the face of the music industry. Labels put him everywhere. He was the sure thing. And when you're that valuable to the industry, you get access to resources most artists can't dream of, including elite songwriting teams. Think about it. Taylor Swift doesn't write every part of her songs. Post Malone uses ghostwriters. If those artists can do it and be wildly successful, why wouldn't the industry do the same for Drake? He was too big to fail. Until now, because now things are starting to fall apart. His last album didn't hit like it was supposed to, the hype wasn't the same, the music felt off. And if these reference tracks are any indication, maybe that's because Drake doesn't have the same support behind the scenes anymore. Maybe the writing team is gone. Maybe the industry is finally done protecting him. And when you compare Drake's pen to his peers, it's not even close. Kendrick's writing has only gotten better over time. Cole still spits like he's hungry. Tyler, the creator, is pushing boundaries. Even someone like Big Sean has remained consistent. But Drake? His lyrical ability has dropped hard. And if you believe these leaks, it's easy to see why. He was never the pen in the first place. Look, I know some fans are going to deny all of this. They'll say, but the music still slaps. And sure, maybe it does. But we're not just talking about vibes here, we're talking about credibility, legacy, what kind of artist Drake actually is. Because if this is all true, it means his catalog, his legacy, is built on lies. And that's not just disappointing, it's tragic. Because there was a time when Drake really did seem like the future of hip-hop, a once-in-a-generation talent. But now, he's starting to look like the greatest fraud the genre has ever seen. So yeah, maybe this is the beginning of the end for Drake as we know him. Maybe this is what finally pushes him down the all-time list. Because no matter how many hits you have, no matter how many plaques hang on your wall, if you didn't write the words, what are you really? Let me know what you think. Do you believe these reference tracks are real? Do you think Drake wrote those timestamp songs? And more importantly, what does this mean for his legacy? Because one thing's for sure, the truth is finally catching up to the Sixth God, and it doesn't look good.